Welcome to English Without Borders. English Without Borders is excited to continue Wednesday series of English Without Borders Chai Talk with outstanding people who make a great contribution in the development of culture and education in the country through English. And today we are very happy to host Professor Abdusalom Mamadnazarov. Welcome to English Without Borders.
My pleasure.
So let me introduce and tell some more words about our speaker today. Professor Abdusalom Mamadnazarov is an author of 25 monographs, books, and dictionaries, including the largest ever published English-Tajik dictionary, textbook for universities, 140 scientific articles, including articles published abroad, and speeches at 15 symposiums and conferences in the United States, Canada, and Netherlands, Great Britain, and other countries. He has translated and published more than 20 popular scientific and historical works into Tajik and English. Professor Mamadnazarov started his career in 1972 as a teacher and associate professor at the Tajik National University. He was a visiting scholar at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And he was a co-secretary of the Joint Committee of the Government of the Republic of Tajikistan and the Aga Khan Development Network for the establishment of an international innovative university in Central Asia, where he has contributed a lot to the preparation for proposal for the establishment of the UCA. He has huge experience working for international organizations such as IREX, Focus, and Urban Institute Tajikistan. From 2014 up to now, Professor Abdusalom Mamadnazarov is a professor of the Department of English Language and Comparative Typology at Tajik National University. He has defended his PhD thesis at Tbilisi State University in 1986. In 2013, he defended his doctoral dissertation at Tajik National University. During his professional career, Professor Mamadnazarov received several awards and titles, and the latest one is Honored Worker of the Republic of Tajikistan. Professor translated and published more than 20 popular scientific and historical works into Tajik or into English, including Our President, the 15th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Tajikistan, an outline of American government, an outline of American history, an outline of American economy, the Ismailis, their history and doctrines, the history of modern statehood, the Lost Enlightenment, the Golden Age of Central Asia from the Arab conquest to Tamerlane, and others. Malim, so welcome to English Without Borders once again, and please kindly tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm honored to be invited to your club. What I could say about my life is I was born in the city Horog, 1948, into a family of 7 children. So 7 brothers actually and a sister. Then after graduating the high school, I came to Dushanbe and to the Tajik Pedagogical University to study English. After graduating, I served in the army, the Soviet army. And then when I came back, I applied for a job at Tajik National University. At that time, it was called Tajik State University, for a job, for a position of an English teacher. So I was chosen, and since then, it's almost 50 years. I'm here at Tajik National University with all my career and my life has been devoted to this university.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So we know that there is always some ideal person, yeah, who motivates or who inspires. And in your case, who motivated and inspired you to be a teacher?
Yes, it's very interesting. We had an English teacher, very knowledgeable, very kind English teacher. He has passed away already. His name was Shirimbek. I don't remember his first name, but I always admired his classes, his teachings, and his how he explained the material. And I said that this is a great man, and I should follow his career. So Shrimeg was a man who inspired me to English, to study English, to choose English as my profession.
Yeah, that's great. And I believe that you have lots of warm memories about this person.
Yes, I do. I do have many memories about this. During all these classes, starting from 4th grade up to the 11th. So there are a lot of memories around. And good memories, actually.
So when I first read your bio, I was so impressed because you have not only created dictionaries, but also you translated so many works, and also you just made a huge contribution in the development of culture and education. And can you say that English has greatly helped you in your career?
Oh, of course. Without English, I wouldn't have managed all these successes, achievements that I have. I wouldn't have achieved that. When I started working at the university, I was thinking that, okay, I graduated from the university, now I know everything. When you start working, you think you find out that the knowledge that you had at the higher institutions is not enough to start teaching and to start a career as a scholar at the university. So university is not a place where you teach English or some other courses, but you also do research. So when do you start thinking about and doing research, the knowledge that you have before is not enough. And it was actually not enough. So I started to work independently. So as you know, we were not trained to be a translator at the pedagogical university. We were trained to be a teacher and not a researcher even. So then I started to learn or to study the theoretical courses like theory of translation, or when it concerns dictionaries, theory of making dictionaries. So lexicography. Lexicography is a theory of making dictionaries. So I started to do research on lexicography. So in order to present a good dictionary, you have to know the theory.
Exactly, that's true. Even the Socrates, once he said, so I know that I don't know anything.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's true. And I believe that, every path of a researcher is just, going deeper into some field when you discover, and in your case, can you say most surprising discoveries in your career?
Yes, when I started, for example, doing my research on lexicography, I found out that there are no dictionaries. There were some dictionaries, actually, to be true. There were some very few and small dictionaries that, of course, didn't fill the demand of that period. But today we need good dictionaries, very large dictionaries, comprehensive dictionaries with compiled on the principles of modern lexicography. So to study the experience of making dictionaries outside American tradition, English lexicography, the history of English lexicography, and based on this theoretical knowledge, I started putting together my dictionary. So, and as a result, it came out first of all in 2002 as a dictionary with 18,000 words only, and then later I expanded it to 24,000 and to 50,000, and now it's about 100,000 words and expressions.
Wow.
And I'm happy to be one of the authors that his book has been posted online. So Cambridge University, I had a proposal from Cambridge University, from Oxford University to put this dictionary online so that great audience, both in Tajikistan and outside in America, wherever in the world, could get access to this dictionary. So, and now you can find it online.
Yeah. So
this is very great achievement.
Yeah. That's really nice to hear, because as the world progress, and then the science, and also just the languages kind of become more global. Yeah. So the role of dictionaries are very important. Yeah. And can you say so? The increase in number of the words in the dictionary. So what influenced the increase in the number of
the demand?
Yes,
the demand. So the demand of so many people are now engaged in translating. So when you translate, first of all, it's the demand to know English, to study English. Many people go abroad and do their degrees on this on different kind of fields. And secondly, the demand on English-Tajik dictionary because of the lack of knowledge of Russian now. During this whole period, many people knew both English and Russian.
Yeah.
So the demand for Tajik dictionaries was not so great because they knew Russian, they could use Russian dictionary.
Exactly, yeah.
But now, because of the situation now that we have Tajik language as a national language, so most people study, and the decrease of the numbers of hours for Russian, for teaching Russian in high school and
universities,
at the universities. So not many students now know Russian fluently. That's why the demand for English-Tajik is very good. Is very big.
Yeah. That's very good point, because we can observe that, in our daily life as well. So if we go back to your young ages, so can you remember and tell us when did you write your first publication in English, and what was that?
The first publication in English was a text on Tajik literature. So we studied, we taught during the teaching at the university at those days, the Soviet period, there were very few materials on English. So in order to provide our students some reading materials, I collected some materials translated from English into Tajik about Tajik language or Tajik literature, and in English and Tajik. Some of them I translated myself and compiled together, made a book for reading material for students. It was about 1980 something.
Yeah. And so can you say that your first publication was really helpful to your students, and how they used it?
Of course. So the first publication, and when you see something that you've written is of success, so it inspires you to continue your activities, to continue your research. And then, of course, materials that are based on let's say, Tajik language or English literature, students find it very interesting to read.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so part of your work is creating dictionaries.
Right.
Part of your work is translating of really motivating books about history, about economy into Tajik, right? So, and one of one path of your passion goes to lexicography. Yeah. So can you tell, like, what of your publications in lexicography, like, is being used, and not only by Tajik, but also, foreign experts. So, and to some extent, how it helps, like, in the development of some knowledge or some field.
Of course, the dictionary itself, it's not only words, it's culture also.
Yeah.
So because of the cultural features, when you read something, you find the examples, the words that express the culture of the people. So when this book was actually, American Embassy was the first sponsor for publication of this dictionary. It was sponsored by American Embassy in Dushanbe, and I'm very grateful for them for this kind of support. When you study the language, it's also culture, and without it expresses the culture. It underlines the cultural features of that nation. So I think because this book has been published many times already since 2000, I think more than 8,000 copies. So, and the demand is great. So many students still has a demand in the market, niche. And that, from that point of view, I think that I made some. The success is there. So if the book is not bought by anybody, so it means that nobody wants it.
Yeah,
it's a great demand. Then I think that this work has to be continued. Continued from the point of view that it's big, but it's not great still.
Yeah.
There are many other books. There are other dictionaries, for example. Of course, it's a hard work putting together dictionaries. So you have to very, 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 very be very attentive to find the right exact meaning of the word. To verify with many dictionaries, because you're finding one dictionary one meaning, in the second dictionary the second meaning,
exactly.
In the third dictionary the third meaning. And from this point of view, the lexicography is responsible for putting the right exact word in the dictionary. So the dictionary becomes a model for students. Okay, somebody say, okay, this word is in this dictionary, says like this, or is translated like that. So when somebody translates an article, or it's not that big, the responsibility is not that big. For the lexicographer, it's very big and good, very, very, very demanding, or very responsibility that you have to answer for the readers. So if somebody comes to you and say, okay, what is this?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why they say that putting together dictionaries is a hard work. It's not that simple as you think.
Yeah.
So this dictionary is a product of almost 20 years.
Yeah. We can see that, every time it just, becomes bigger and bigger. That's true. And do you receive any feedback from your readers that give you, like, food for thinking, and also just, improving each time, the quality of dictionaries?
Yes. I usually get through my emails and through that addresses that I put. And when they started publishing, the proposals was to publish it online from Oxford University. So they sent me some remarks, something that to be removed, so something to improve. So this is also a feedback. Yeah. So before putting it into the dictionary, into online, I got some feedback. Sorry. And also get feedback from our teachers. So many teachers come to me usually, or they send some messages and say, Doctor, we couldn't find this word. Why not? This word is not in the dictionary. Or there are some meanings, but I found this dictionary in a different meaning. So there is a saying that the sort of dictionary is necessary. There's not perfect dictionary actually in the world. So, but the lack of dictionary is better than even a bad dictionary.
Yeah.
So, but I think that this dictionary found its readers, and every time I start republishing it actually. So there are some changes. I found some mistakes. I add some set expressions. I add some verbs or proverbs or sayings that and some new words.
Yeah, exactly.
The other day I was listening to the interview of Collins. Collins, the editor-in-chief of the Dictionary College. He was saying that every day 100 new words
being coined.
Being coined
Yeah,
into English language.
Exactly.
So if every day 100 words come out into English, so during the year, 1 year, you imagine how many will be there. So in order to be in progress, to be in one step with the progress, you have to improve your dictionary also.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a matter of self-development and also developing your work. So yeah, it's a huge work.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's a huge work. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. So can you say that also just the dictionaries are getting bigger because of the neologisms, because as you mentioned, so many new words are being created and are being coined, and also it also to some extent it also just brings together different scientists from different parts of the world, right? So, and in your case, can you tell us about your collaborations with foreign experts, let's say on creating some dictionaries or on creating some other publications that also helps you not as a researcher but also as a scientist? So can you tell about this more?
Right. When you, in terms of collaboration or cooperation, I would like to say a few words about 2 years ago I translated when I was in America. In the evenings, I had nothing to do, so I started translating some books. I translated 2 books by Sadruddin Aini, the founder of Tajik modern literature. These are the national hero, the hero of Tajik people, Timur Malik, and Isur in Mukhanna, revolt. Isur in Mukhanna. So what I found when I was in America, what I find is that in spite of the fact that Sadruddin is a huge personality in the literature, in the life of Tajik people in our country, outside of Tajikistan, and for English-speaking countries, he's very little known. This is because his books are not translated into English. Some are translated, only few, I think 3 or 4 small pieces have been translated, but not many. So that's why the readers in States and English-speaking countries are not familiar with Sadruddin. So I decided to fill some gap in this area. So I translate them, and I have a friend who is a professor at the university at Chicago University, Jonathan Zartman. He was at Technological University as a Fulbright scholar. He taught English there for a few years, and he knows English very well, Tajik very well. So we met here, and our cooperation continued. So I gave it to him for editing.
Yeah, proofreading.
Proofreading, actually. So,
yeah.
So he's doing. He did a very good job, and now this book is expanded. He added a lot of materials about Daini, biography, and some other appended materials about Daini. Now it's a big book about 30-something pages now. So it has to be published in States.
Wow.
It's a material for learning Tajik in English, let's say, American universities.
Yeah.
The idea is to provide reading materials for English students, for American students on Tajik literature.
Yeah, that's good because, as you mentioned, teaching a language, it's not solely for teaching language, but also for teaching culture, right? And I'm I'm very happy that you have done this work, because I remember my childhood when I first read the story about Temur Malik, written by Aini. I was so impressed because this is a huge personality in terms of history, but also, like, by kind of showing that he also made a huge contribution, right? So, and also in terms of Aini, he just introduced this personality, and I'm very happy that you are introducing this personality.
Yes, Temur Malik is a historical, and actually the book by Aini, it's not a narrative; it's a historical.
Yeah, exactly.
So he actually refers to many historical, classical sources like Tarikh Nashafi's history and many other histories. So yes, Temur Malik is not something that Aini invented. It's just a historical, based on historical facts.
Like, the whole world knows about Genghis Khan.
Right.
And nobody knows that there was a hero who resisted.
Who fought against Genghis Khan.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of showing two ways of the same coin. Yeah.
Right.
What the whole world knows, and also the other part of the coin. So thank you very much. That's a great.
No, the other example is this cooperation. I used to work with the Professor Frederick Starr from Johns Hopkins University. So we work together as co-secretary. Yeah, that's right. At the University of Central Asia. So he was the co-secretary and I was the co-secretary. So during 4 years we worked together, and after this cooperation, these years, he proposed to translate his book. Yeah. So when you cooperate with somebody, it comes up usually to good results.
Exactly, yeah. So, and I can see, like, this book has been translated into so many languages.
Right. Yeah. Right. So yes, this book has been translated to many languages, and still under translation into some other languages. I usually receive some messages from Star saying that this book has been published in Seoul. This book has been published in, I say, some other countries, and to tell you the truth, many people do not know the history.
Exactly.
Especially the history of Central Asia. Our young people do not know. Some, of course, it's not. We are not telling that nobody knows. But many people know the story, but some do not know. But the facts that reflected here during the golden age of Central Asia are fascinating, and I recommend everybody should read it because the many sources are available in Tajik, like the Arabic script, but not many people know Arabic script and these books are mostly some of them very rare. You can find them only in the dictionary, in the libraries. But this dictionary is available, so they can people can find it. Whoever is interested from the audience, I can send them an electronic version if they are interested.
That would be very great, because even the title, it says like, the Lost Enlightenment.
Right.
Yeah? So to some extent, lots of people know about the Great Silk Road, but about the Enlightenment period, like, I'm sure that not so many people know about that. So can you just say in a few words what the readers can find in this book, and what just will be really fascinating in this book?
The Enlightenment period is of itself. Now, if you talk about Enlightenment, so if you talk Enlightenment in Europe, it is 17th, 18th century.
Middle Ages,
Middle Ages.
Yeah.
But the Enlightenment in Central Asia, it's 9th to 8th to 10th, 12th centuries, 400 centuries. 500, 600 before the Enlightenment came to Europe. And the main feature, or the fascinating feature of this book is this dictionary. This book is that he usually, when he describes this or that achievement of Central Asians, let's say, when he talks about Ibn Sina, or talks about Biruni or Khayyam, he said, okay, Khayyam invented this, and 600 years in Europe, they do keep the same thing 600 years later. So it's a comparison of the culture and innovations and achievements in science and technology and everything. In Central Asia, during, say, from 8th to 12th centuries, and then he gives an example of the same same achievements 600 years later here.
So it's kind of, when everything started moving from the Central Asia to the West, the West.
And then of course there came Mongol conquest, and all this enlightenment. That's why the book is called The Lost Enlightenment.
Because I understand that, this
the books
period
were destroyed.
Exactly. The whole civilization.
Came into this.
That's true. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to reading it myself because this is something I'm really passionate about. Thank you very much. And dear audience, please use this chance to ask your questions to Professor Abdusalom Mamadnazarov, and we'll continue our conversation.
No problem. I'm ready to answer.
Thank you very much. Okay. So can you tell us about, like, so far I'm really impressed by all the works that you are doing, and can you tell more about, like, your current book projects? What books or what publications you are preparing right now that will be available for the readers?
First, I would like to mention the book which is called Comparative Lexicography, Comparative English-Tajik Lexicography. So we are teaching at the university a whole course called lexicography. But in many institutions, let's say in Tajikistan, this subject is not taught yet. So lexicography is a part of lexicology, and it's one of the themes within lexicology. Separately, the higher institutions in Tajikistan do not, the students do not study lexicography as a special subject. But at Tajik National University, we put together the program, we put together the materials for lecture, and now I'm putting together a book on lexicography so that when it is published, the students it will be available for students, and it will be available for other higher institutions, and I hope that the philological faculties in some other institutions like Pedagogical University and others in future can use this book and teach lexicography as a separate subject. So this is the goal actually. So because the people know some people just only hear that, oh, lexicography. What is lexicography? But it's a whole subject. It has its own methods, its own principles of making dictionaries, and it has the history. You have to study the history of making dictionaries, and to know the theory of making good dictionaries. Otherwise, your dictionary will be not bought by anyone.
Yeah, and also just for many scientists, like when they produce something, it's very important that they know the audience, what the audience wants, right?
Of course,
and it will be also just helpful,
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. The audience, depending on the audience, dictionaries are made. So there are dictionaries for children, there are dictionaries for adults, there are dictionaries for students, there are dictionaries for, let's say,
researchers.
Every subject has its own dictionary, for example. Dictionary for in the sphere of chemistry, for example.
Exactly.
No, the other day I read in a paper says that in chemistry there are 2 million terms.
Oh my God!
2 million terms in chemistry.
Wow.
Oh, if chemistry has 2 million, what about geology? What about, let's say,
medicine?
Medicine, So every science is so vast, so great now, so that they need all the dictionaries, all the words to be put in a dictionary, and most in English-speaking countries there are now cores. In Russian, it's called corpus. The cores of language. Corpus is the cup. In Tajik, we call it IREX. At Tajik Slavonic University, now they put together the Tajik core online, so that the students can. They are putting all the materials that are published on electronically and put together the basis, the database, so that from the database you can extract whatever you want.
Exactly.
Through this English Tajik corpus, corpus Tajikskого языка.
That's very interesting. So, based on what you're saying, it means like as the world is getting bigger, because countries and continents collaborate, the same. It means like more books, and more just demand will be for dictionaries, and also for lexicography and everything. So I would like to hear your projection of the science, let's say in the next 20 years, particularly in the field where you work.
Okay. Lexicography as a science, as a research activity, is developing very fast in the last 20 years, or from now on it will also develop with very great speed. Now we are talking about electronic lexicography. So making dictionaries, the modern technology makes it much more easier to create dictionaries. So and it's not surprising that most of the countries, very developed countries with big number of readers and all this, are putting dictionaries online. You can find now Webster's dictionary online. You can find the biggest Mueller dictionaries, bilateral languages, multi-language dictionaries online now, because it's first of all they are accessible to larger number of people. They are cheaper, and you have just to have an internet connections, and you do not need to put them on print them on a paper-based dictionaries. So if the future of the dictionary making, I see just internet.
Electronic.
Electronic dictionaries. So that's why when I proposed, when I actually proposed to Oxford Publishing House to publish my dictionary, they said that they cannot do it on paper.
Yeah.
Because it's now time for technology, so they can do it online. I said, okay, fine, do it online.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because when you print the hard copy of the dictionary, you can make 1,000 copies, 2,000, 10,000 copies. But when you put it online, million and million will have access to that.
No geographic boundaries.
Yeah, exactly.
For getting access to dictionaries online.
Yeah, English without borders. Tajik
without
borders.
Tajik without borders. Living in Australia, you can get access to English-Tajik dictionary. You had to live.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So thank you. When we just talk about this, it just makes me really inspired, because you are doing such a great job, and we are very happy to host you, because so many people know, and more people will learn about your work.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I think that I'm not doing something special. I'm doing my job.
But you are doing a huge job. Thank you very much. Okay, so if it's not a secret, so can you share your plans for the next 5 years? So where you are now as a professional, and so where do you want to be in the next 5 years?
Yeah, in the next 5 years, I have 2 goals actually. First, the book that I talked about the English-Tajik comparative lexicography, is coming soon. It's ready already. I'm reading it. It may be published in a few months. But my goal to let's say the next 5 years, first of all, to expand this dictionary. Every time I expand it, every time it is published, I expand it. So the goal is to make it 150,000, to add another 50,000 words and expressions, so it becomes greater and more comprehensive. The second goal is there is a dictionary published in the States. It's Tajik English dictionary. My book is English-Tajik. That one is Tajik Tajik English. So it's mostly for the English-speaking countries, for English-speaking people who want to read or to study Tajik or translate from Tajik into English. And it has been published, but it is not accessible to readers in Tajikistan. So my idea is in cooperation with the American Embassy, the help of American Embassy, and with the authors that I know, the authors of the book. I talked to them, and the issue is to get the permission of the publisher. So, and that's I wanted to publish it in Tajikistan, so that the great audience would be able to get access to this.
Yeah. So hopefully, yes. Hopefully. I can see your huge contribution, in creating dictionary, in kind of making lexicography and lexicology more easier and more interesting to study for students. And if we talk about your teaching career, so we know you have lots of disciples.
Right.
So what would be your recommendations?
Okay, my recommendation is for the students. When I talk to students, I found some progress, something that they do well, something that they do not well, something they didn't achieve so far. So, for example, reading is good, speaking is excellent, but listening is not. When you give them a paper, say, okay, this is the paper, just translate this text into Russian or English. They do it without no problem. But the same text, you just do play it on a phone or read it through, like say, radio, or through newspapers, through TV. They listen, they do not understand.
Yeah. So it means like
listening comprehension is not developed.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Many
true.
people say, okay, we went to America and we couldn't understand anything because the ears are not taught to listen to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So listening comprehension is very important. This is I usually demand my students. I usually find that some students, they are good at reading, they are good at speaking, but they cannot translate. So translation skills. If you live, for example, if you learn English and you are going to America to English-speaking countries, you don't need to put a translation.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you are trained as a translator in the country and you live in Tajikistan, in addition to speaking, reading, and retelling, and all these kind of things, you have to do translation. And translation is missing. And so I usually demand to translate a lot of books, a lot of pages. Every year I think, okay, this year your assignment is 300 pages. Next year, during 4 years, it comes to 1,000 pages actually. And by doing translations, they learn the language, they know how to translate, and of course, I'll help them with theoretical side of it. I added their translated materials, I proofread their materials once, twice, and then the third time they bring some better. And every time they come to you next time, their translation is better and better.
Yeah.
So
you mark their progress.
Right? Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
So all activities are very important. Both speaking, listening, and translation.
Yeah, translation. Exactly. Yeah, I remember myself when I was my first visit to the United States, and for 2 months I was struggling because you are right. Like my listening skills was not so perfect. I attended the university. I took several courses, and for almost 2 months I struggled. And I was lucky because my course mates, they were from China and they had the same problem. So we sat together and I was just, punching them. Okay, what the professor is saying, do you understand that? So it was good. Exactly. Yes, I agree. Thank you for your great recommendations. Teaching, learning English, it's kind of, a two-way process because from one side, there are students, and from the other side, the teachers. So we know that teaching English in our country is being kind of reinforced and urged by our president, Imam Ali Rahman. So we are very happy that this kind of, message is on the agenda right now, and we understand that learning a language and teaching particularly English language opens new doors, not only for language learning but for different sectors, economy, like science, social, and other collaborations between the countries. So what would be your recommendations to English teachers in Tajikistan? So in many cases, the teachers, they really want to progress, but they don't know from what to start. So what would be your recommendations?
My recommendation is to work hard. I know that many English teachers that work hard, they made good progress. When you know, one fascinating thing is that if you do not work hard, you do not get some new knowledges. The students that come, these are not the students that came 20 years ago, 30 years ago. many students come with a very good English.
Yeah.
And if you are not working on yourself and you are not working hard, the students will be more knowledgeable than you. And so you will be ashamed of your English to talk to the students. So that's why, of course, teacher is a teacher. You have to work hard on your English. You have to improve your English. And my recommendation is do translations. Speak English and in modern world, there are hundreds of opportunities to improve your language skills, your English or language skills. If you go to bookstore, you can find hundreds of books with tapes and with all things, and kind of CD-ROMs and whatnot. This is available, so you can find that. And on the other hand, working hard and making progress also give opportunity to for example, you do translations, you earn additional money.
Yeah.
It's for the benefit of the family, for the benefit of the person himself, for the teacher. So you don't have to restrict yourself with just teaching.
Yeah.
So some teachers say, okay, yeah, I do teach and I do nothing else. So why not doing translations? Why not participating in conferences? Why not doing this and that? Especially in the capital city, there are hundreds of opportunities. Go to your club, go to American Center,
exactly.
and cooperate with international agencies. So if you are good, you will be in great demand. You will be in demand, and you will be given some projects for doing translations, for reviewing, for I don't know, proofreading, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Like, the whole concept of lifelong learning is becoming more and more
Exactly,
trendy.
Exactly. Right. Live and learn, they say.
Live and learn,
learn.
exactly. So progress should be on a daily basis. So you compare yourself with yesterday. Okay, so yesterday I did that, and today I'm just going to do that, and tomorrow I'll be doing that. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we have also questions from our audience. The audience, so they are also curious.
Yes,
yeah, and also they are asking questions. So Sharifun Abdulmanun Rajabzada, he is asking, beside the dictionary, do you develop any textbook for higher institutions now?
I do develop textbooks, as I mentioned earlier. It's not a textbook for learning English, but it's a textbook on the special area of lexicography, as I mentioned. This is a textbook or manual, we call it.
Yeah.
Manual for those who study lexicography. It's a kind of textbook, but it's mostly more like theoretical than practical. I do not work on books for practical English, as textbook as English as it is. But I do write books, and I'm engaged in books on theoretical mostly subject like lexicography.
Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, we have also comments from our audience. Professor Mamadnazarov, the achievements and success you have reached showcase your hard work and diligence. If we compare the past study conditions with the present, we can see today's English learners are provided with more platforms and resources to advance their English and pursue their career goals. What are your recommendations for the young to-be scientists who want to be involved in research work and have their works published in peer-reviewed journals?
Okay. First of all, I think that the areas of research are so great now. So if you're studying, for example, physics, you're studying chemistry. So there are many very knowledgeable scientists that can lead a person, that can supervise a person. So at university, for example, I'm supervising now some PhD students. Of course, it depends on how you, what is the theme that you chosen that you has chosen for research. So if somebody comes to you that, okay, I want to do my PhD, what do you recommend? So it depends on the professor actually to find out the theme that will be in demand today and tomorrow. And also to guide the students through hundreds and millions of materials, and you have to find out the right literature. So recommend the literature, the reference books that the person can start working on.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. So also among our audience is Judy Elliott, who is a Fulbright scholar to Tajikistan. So she's saying, like, I'm teaching English in Tajikistan. I'm looking for an English book on major figures in Tajik history, specifically Avicenna, Aini, Cyrus, the greatness Bobo Jungafurov, Ismail Somoni, Mirza Tursoda, especially with specific details about their lives that are glossed over in the traditional descriptions. So you can recommend your translation of Temur Malik, yes, and the Revolt of Mohana. So are they available in the bookstores?
They are available in Tajik, but very few materials are in Russian, in English. But I can recommend, if specifically, if somebody wants to on a specific, let's say, figure or scientist or scholar, I can recommend some literature.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll put you in touch with Judy.
No problem.
Thank you. So Holibek Satorov, he's asking, please tell us about the importance of dictionaries in the history of Tajik people.
Yeah, the dictionaries are very important actually in the history, in preserving the language. If we look at the Tajik language, the first dictionaries were published as early as the beginning of the
Independence days.
No, in the fourth, 6th centuries. So the first dictionary of Tajik language that is available still, which preserved, is Lughat Furs Asadi Tusi in the 9th, 10th century.
Wow. Yeah.
So and through this dictionary we study the history of the language. Through these dictionaries that we study the development of the language from, let's say, old Persian, then Middle Persian, then modern Persian, modern Tajik language.
Yeah, that's
the dictionaries are very important in the development of language.
Yeah. So do you expect that this dictionary will be bigger in the next couple of years?
Of course. I will do my best.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can see. Yeah. So to see this dictionary, like, how many words did it contain? And right now, like, it's maybe increased 1,000 times, right?
Course.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So thank you. So Professor Mamadnazarov, another question for you. Yes. Can you share any tips for the effective use of dictionary?
Okay. Effective use of dictionary. So if the person who is asking to be the hard copy, so
I think so.
So you have to learn, the knowledge of actually alphabet is very important.
Yeah. You know what comes next and what comes
alphabet should be on your tips, on your fingertips. So and modern devices help you to find out words very quick.
Exactly, yeah.
Alphabet is very important.
Yeah, to some extent, it's kind of you know what you're looking for, find the keyword, and then
that's right.
You'll find
and
it.
Then on the this front the top of the dictionary, usually there are words that tell us that the first word in the dictionary and the last word in the dictionary.
Yeah, yeah.
So with these guiding words, you can find the dictionary.
Yeah,
the exact word.
Yeah, it's more convenient, to find the words you are looking for. Yeah, thank you very much, Ustad. We have a question from Abdul Hamid Sharif. What challenges do the students of the university mostly have in learning English in Tajikistan?
Okay, the challenges. The lack of good textbooks is one problem, and the reading material. Actually, it's not the challenge is just it's not from the material point of view. It's from the point of view how the teachers motivate the students. If you motivate them, if you find good words for them to persuade that this is their subject, that this is that they need to do, so they will be able to find any material that you want them to find.
Yeah, it reminds me about one saying: there is no bad students, bad teachers.
Bad teachers, of course.
Yeah, so it means like inspiration,
that's
motivation
right.
should
inspiration,
be
motivation, and of course your personal example.
Yeah, exactly.
If you tell them, okay, I did this and I achieved this, and if they say the professor, the teacher is successful, they also, it is a good motivation for them to succeed.
Yeah, so the role model should be a teacher.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a next question. Shahlo Rahmatova, she's asking, I'm teaching English for kids and looking for teaching materials for kids as well as game activities. Could you please recommend any?
Okay. For kids, I know that there is a program at Aga Khan Development Network for publishing books for kids. So they are doing it in Tajik, but they can be used as a model. But there are also materials published in Iran, so they are available in our book shops. So they have translations both in English and in Tajik, so that you can use them.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, so there are so many questions, and I bet that we can talk for hours, and this conversation will be very interesting. And my last question to you would be, what is your favorite motto in life that helped you to progress over the years?
Model?
Motto, like
motto, okay.
Motto, yeah.
Okay. I always wanted to be the first.
Okay.
So if you are chosen a specific area of activities, you should be the first. If you are somewhere over there and nobody knows about it, so what's the purpose of it?
Yeah.
But this always drives you. Drives you, okay, I should do this, I should do this. So my motto is to be the first.
Yeah. So to be the winner, to be the first,
to be the first,
and to be the pioneer. Okay.
Thank
you. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so so many things are going to be created in the coming years, and once again, we express our deep gratitude to you, and also on behalf of our audience who are watching us right now. We are looking forward, to receive more acclaims of your work, and also to see more publications of yours. And we wish you best of luck in your endeavors. And of course, we'll be happy to host you in our Chai Talk next year, with more books. And using this time and moment, I would like to wish you great success. And we know that the year is ending, and first of all, we wish you for the next year to be healthy, to be in a good mood and also to be successful and to be happy.
Thank you.
And when a person is happy, he can achieve anything in life. So thank you very much, dear Ustad. It was a big pleasure for us to host you today. And dear audience, it was very nice to see your active participation, and we thank you as well for your great questions. And we say, see you next year.
See you next year.
See you next year. Thank you very much.
So I'm giving this book, the copy of my dictionary, to your center as a gift.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great gift. All of our speakers, they also just, left some of their work with us. So we are collecting all of them. So more teachers will be having access to them as well. Thank you very much.